If you rely on a CPAP machine, the absolute last thing you ever want to worry about is the power going out. So today, we're going to build a totally reliable off-grid power system. We'll walk you through exactly how to size a battery for your CPAP using real math. No guesswork allowed.
This is the big question, isn't it? It's the one that gives you that little pit in your stomach when you're thinking about camping or a storm's rolling in. You know, that fear of waking up at 3 a.m. gasping for air because your battery died? Well, by the end of this, you're going to have the confidence to know the answer is always yes, absolutely.
Now, you've probably been online and you've seen advice like what's on the left. Oh, just get a 100 amp hour battery, you'll be fine. It's simple, sure, but it's a total shot in the dark. That kind of guesswork is exactly why systems fail. What we're going to do is what you see on the right. We are going to do the actual math, focusing on your real energy needs in watt-hours. That is how you guarantee reliability.
Okay, so let's get to it and build this thing from the ground up. This first part is the foundation. Everything, and I mean everything, starts with figuring out exactly how much energy your machine uses for a full night's sleep. If you get this part right, the rest of the system just clicks perfectly into place.
The single most important unit we're going to talk about today is the watt-hour. Seriously, for right now, just forget amp-hours exist. A watt-hour is the true currency of energy. Why? Because it combines how much power you're using with how long you're using it. It tells you the total amount of work the battery actually has to do.
So the first piece of our puzzle is power, and we measure that in watts. A pretty typical CPAP machine draws about 50 watts. But, and listen up, this is important, that's what the humidifier turned off. That little humidifier is a power hog. It can easily double your energy use. So for our math, we're going to stick with the 50-watt baseline.
And the second piece of the puzzle is, of course, time. We're not planning for a little catnap here. We are planning for a full, uninterrupted, glorious 8 hours of sleep. This is absolutely non-negotiable if we're building a system we can trust. And here's the super simple math. You take the 50 watts of power, multiply that by the 8 hours you'll be using it, and boom, you get your baseline energy need of 400 watt-hours. This is the absolute rock-bottom minimum amount of energy your CPAP needs to get through the night. But, and this is a big but, we're not done yet, not by a long shot.
Right, because in the real world, nothing is perfectly efficient. Whenever you convert power, like from your battery's DC to your wall plug's AC, you lose some of that energy as heat. Think of it like an energy tax, and you have to pay it.
This chart just lays it out so clearly. Your CPAP needs that 400 watt-hours. We know that. But the inverter you use to plug it in, it can waste another 100 watt-hours just doing its job. So the number you have to burn into your brain isn't 400. The amount of energy your battery actually needs to supply is 500 watt-hours.
Okay, we've got our magic number, 500 watt-hours. So what do we do with it? Well, now we're going to translate that number into a physical battery that you can actually go out and buy.
But before you run out and grab the first battery you see, we have to talk about something called depth of discharge, or DOD. I know, it sounds technical, but stick with me. It's actually really simple, and it is incredibly important. All it means is how much of the battery's juice you can safely use. If you drain certain batteries all the way to empty, you will kill them permanently.
And this right here, this is why the type of battery you choose is a total game changer. With an old-school lead-acid battery, you can really only use about half of the power it says on the label if you want it to last. But with a modern LiFePO4, that's lithium iron phosphate, you can safely use almost all of its capacity, and it'll last for years and years. It's kind of a no-brainer.
Okay, so let's apply this and see the aha moment. We start with our 500 watt-hour need, we divide by 12 volts to get about 42 amp-hours. Now watch this. For a lead-acid battery, with its 50% limit, you have to double that number. You'd need a big, heavy 84 amp-hour battery. But with a LiFePO4, a 50 amp-hour battery gives you what you need, with even a little extra. It's a massive difference in size, weight, and performance.
And because we are talking about your health, we don't cut corners. We always build in a safety buffer. Real-world conditions are messy. It gets cold, batteries get old, stuff happens. Adding a 20% safety margin is like your insurance policy. It ensures your system works not just on a perfect day, but every single day.
All right, we've sized the battery. We're almost home. Now let's talk about the final crucial pieces. Making sure your system runs as efficiently as possible, and more importantly, that it keeps you and your gear safe.
Okay, everybody, lean in. If you only remember one pro tip from this entire explainer, make it this one. If your CPAP can use a 12-volt DC adapter, use it. By going straight from your DC battery to your DC machine, you completely skip the inverter and you skip that whole energy tax. It is a massive, massive efficiency gain.
And check this out. This chart shows you exactly what I'm talking about. With the very same battery, running through an AC inverter gets you the 8 hours you planned for. That's fine. But switching to a direct DC connection, you could easily get 10 hours, maybe more. That's 2 extra hours of runtime totally for free, just by using the right cable.
Now, let's get serious for a moment. A fuse is not an optional accessory. It is not a nice-to-have. In a worst-case scenario, like a short circuit, the fuse is the only thing that will break the connection and prevent a fire. It is absolutely 100% essential.
So here it is, your final checklist for a bulletproof system. 1. Fuse your system right near the battery. 2. Remember the easiest way to save a ton of power is to just turn off that humidifier. 3. Use thick, properly sized wires so they don't get hot. 4. If you absolutely have to use an inverter, make sure it's a pure sine wave model to protect your expensive machine. And 5. For anything this critical, always have a backup plan.
And there you have it. The math, the science, and the critical safety steps to build a power system that you can truly, deeply depend on. You're not guessing anymore. You have the blueprint. You know. This is about more than just electricity. It's about freedom. It's about peace of mind. So, where are you going to go first?